And hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Be Real, Get Real with Women's Prosperity Network. I'm Trish Carr, your host today, and I'm one of the co-founders of Women's Prosperity Network. And for those of you who are familiar with Women's Prosperity Network, you know that we are an almost 15-year community of amazing women and some amazing men who come together to grow our businesses and our lives so that we can be the best we can be. And as a result, with our services, and our projects, we do a massive change in the world and make a positive difference. So I'm so glad that you're here with us today, and we're going to meet somebody new, and we are going to be talking all about resilience. And I think when it comes to resilience, and I'm sure you'll probably agree, that it's one of the most important qualities for us to have as humans, because the world isn't just always nice and steady. We live on this roller coaster of a life, most of us, where things are really great, then things change, and then they're really great again, and they change, and then something not so great happens, and we have to get up and pick ourselves up by our bootstraps, or put on our big girl panties, or whatever people say. So it's a pleasure to have you with us. I'm going to ask you a favor. If you would, go ahead and hit that button there that says share, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay. Go ahead and share this, because we are going to learn today about resilience. So in this next 15 minutes, we're going to hear from one of our amazing members who is going to share about how she developed resilience in her life and how today she's at the best place she's ever been. Lori Osborne is the founder and chief solution architect, I love that, for her business, which is called Biz Bolster Web Solutions. She's also a speaker and a published author. Her signature reputation management program, her custom website development, SEO services, and sales funnel development, which so many of us need, where people know where to go next with your products and services. She is a pro at all of that. She's been doing it for a long time. I'm not going to say how long, because when you see her, you're going to go, oh, she looks like she's in her 20s. So please help me welcome to the show, Lori Osborne from Jacksonville area, Florida. Nice to see you, Lori.
Thank you. So great to see you too.
I'm so glad you're here. I love those colors behind you.
Thank you so much. It's part of my brand. We need to promote our brand every opportunity.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. Well, you and I have known each other for a little while, and your story is so compelling. And when I think about resilience, you really are the poster child for it. How did you develop the resilience that you have?
It's built over time. I would love to say I was just born with it, but, I did have a challenging childhood. I was an only child of a single mom most of my life. So I kind of had to raise myself and didn't really have the option to sit back and not, be resilient. I think I was born with a type A personality. So, I've got to be my best. I have to be my best. It's just the way it is. And then through time, it just built. So I don't know if I should keep going. So
So one of the things I do, go ahead. I was going to say, one of the things I do know that you've shared with me is that you had and still have a brain tumor?
I do.
How can you still have a brain tumor and be totally functioning? Totally. I mean, like you, no one would ever know. So it must be hiding up there.
It is. It's hiding right in here on my pituitary gland, and it's part of my carotid artery, which is why it can't be removed. It is a meningioma, which 97% of the time are benign. So, thankfully, it's not cancerous. they did do surgery to get it off of my optical nerve and nicked my carotid. So I ended up with a brain bleed and a 3/4 blind eye. So I had 2 surgeries, but it will probably always be there. I did radiation as well, so it hasn't grown, which is the best part. As long as it stays the way it is, it's just sitting there, likes to mess with my hormones. And, I have ramifications from the surgeries, just, anytime they're messing with your brain. I've had headaches, and I also had a stroke before I found out I had the tumor. So it's just, it's just part of life now, though. To me, it's just part of my head.
So you had a stroke, and that's how you found out you had a tumor? This is back in 2015, 16?
2015. Actually, I lost my mom in 2014, and I did not know I'd had a stroke. But when they discovered the tumor, they said, you've had a stroke sometime in the last, at least 6 months ago, because they can't tell if it's not within the last 6 months. And I said, I know exactly when it was. It was right after my mom died, and I came back to work, and it was a very, very stressful incident with my boss. And I know that's when it happened. And then I started struggling with words and things like that I didn't know were symptoms of stroke until later. When they told me about the stroke, I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, well, that's why I've been struggling with words and trying to find the right word. Everyone told me it was grief, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a stroke. But fortunately, when they did the surgery, they were able, I said, well, can I still have strokes? If the tumor is going to stay there, am I going to have more strokes? And they said, well, if your brain doesn't rewire your blood flow for you, then we will have to do it to avoid future strokes. And that was the good thing. When they went in, they said, your brain already did what it's supposed to do. It's already rerouted everything, and you don't have to worry about strokes anymore. So, okay, great. Good job, brain.
Well, so unpacking that, there's a couple things that you needed to be resilient. Number one, you lost your mom. So my heart goes out to you there, because it's something, it's no matter what your relationship is with your mom, my experience from all the people I know is it's your mom.
It's your mom.
Yeah, it's your mom. So
and she was only 63. So, 63
wow.
and cancer. And I lost my grandma at 63 to cancer as well. So
Wow.
I always tell everyone my 64th birthday is going to be the biggest party ever.
Yes. Yes. Though, it's like those moments in your life when you lose your grandmother, when you lose your mother, they really make you consider life. What do I want to do? Where do I want to be? And when you're in business on your own, which, you are the CEO of your business, you don't have the time to fall down and take a month to grieve. You don't have the time. I don't have the time to have a brain tumor. What are you kidding me? I have a business to run.
Right.
How did you manage through that? Well, you were working for someone else when you had the stroke. Right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
How long after that did you start your own thing?
Actually, a result of the tumor is why I started my second business. When I went through all of it and came out with the headaches and was still struggling with words, and I also couldn't really process stress well, and IT is a very stressful industry. So I just said, I don't know when I'm going back to work or if I'm going back to work. So I need to find something I can do to stay busy and intrigued and keep my mind going. So that's when I started investigating web development and just tried a million different things over about a year, and started doing web development and went, oh my gosh, why haven't I been doing this my entire career? And intended it for it to be a hobby. And then as I got better and I got stronger and my headaches got better, I said, I can really do this. I can make this a business. So let's do it.
Wow. And you did have an IT background, but there might have been some doubt in there as you jumped off and leaped into it, especially with knowing that you had a brain tumor that, was sitting in your head. So how'd you find the the gumption, to say, I'm going to do this? Was it one of those defining moments where you're like, am I going to stay working for somebody else, or is this my time?
Yes, I am. I've always wanted to be self-employed, and I had a business previously that failed. So failed with the failure of my first marriage. And so I had doubts, and I wasn't sure that I could do it. And then I also didn't feel, I wasn't sure people would take me seriously as a web developer. But I also knew I could not work for anyone else again. I knew I needed to control my own schedule. And I have a very supportive husband that, honestly, if he had his way, I'd just go to the beach every day. He thinks it's crazy that I even do this to myself, but he's, 100% behind whatever I choose to do. And once I discovered how much I loved it, I couldn't even imagine not doing it. I honestly would do it for free, though I don't want to do it for free. I don't even want to say I would do it for free.
What do you see? I'm so not a geek that when you talk about doing web stuff and digital marketing and all that, I'm like, okay, Nancy, it's your turn.
Yeah, right.
My sister Nancy does all of that geeky
yes.
stuff. What do you love so much about it?
I have never had a creative job before, and I didn't know that I could. I have done creative things in my life. I come from a family of artists, but I've always been the project manager, the software tester, the website tester, the writer, the analytical one. And, when I discovered that, I actually, one of the things I thought about was staging homes because I love decorating. Well, yeah. Website and design is a lot like decorating. You're creating a look that is beautiful and makes sense and is coherent and works together much like a room in a house. Mm-hmm. And once I discovered I had the talent for it, and it's a great balance of that creative side and my logical business side and my project, and I've always been able to take technical terms and speak layman language. So it works well with clients as well. I support clients that hate technology, and I can speak to them in a way that they understand.
Well, clearly your brain is working left and right very well, despite having this thing right here in the front of your head. And I know that this, when you found out you had the brain tumor, that wasn't the first time, I'm sure, that ran through your head was cancer again.
Oh, yes. That was the very first thought, because I do come from a family of cancer. I had colon cancer at 36. There was, I grew up waiting for cancer. Just, it had been so prevalent in my family. It was just not am I going to get it, but when am I going to get it? And my mom beat cancer at 32. She had ovarian cancer for 2 years. And she beat it. And so when I had colon cancer, I'm like, okay, I beat it. We're good. But then mom got cancer again and died from it. And so, when they say you have a brain tumor, of course, that was the first thought that went through my head. Oh no, here we go again. So I was grateful, absolutely grateful that it wasn't cancer, and that it's just there.
Right. There. It's just there.
It's just there.
When you think about, I know for me, and for a lot of us, Lori, if you had something in the health. So what I always hear people say is, I can't start my own business. I need my benefits. Or, when I was sick, they paid me. So for me, it's real. I so admire you for saying, I don't care. It's my life now. And I want my life to be what I want my life to be. And that doesn't include working for someone else, right? Is that
exactly?
Yeah. And in business, so the first, I'm sure that I would imagine that your first year had its ups and downs, and there needed to be some resilience in there? Or did you start off and it just went boom? What happened when you started the business?
I would love to say it just went boom. You know, I started with approaching a couple of businesses that I knew, my realtor at the time and my hairstylist, and said, I want to start this. I need a project to start on. Will you know, can I give you a really great deal and just prove my stuff? And so that's how it started. And then we, in the middle of all that, decided to move to Florida to live less expensively because we were in Denver, where I knew nobody. I didn't know a single soul where I moved. So I just started reaching out and got involved in a networking group. And honestly, it has just grown, and it's grown at the rate it was supposed to grow, because the first couple of years I couldn't work full time. I couldn't devote a lot of time to it. I was still in a lot of pain and going to a lot of doctors and spending a lot of time traveling, just trying to get the help I needed. So it's grown at the rate it's needed to grow, basically.
Yeah, so that it's manageable for you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I love that you're aware of that, because some of us are thinking, oh, it's not happening fast enough. But it's going to grow the way it's going to grow as long as you're putting in the work. And I really appreciate that you started with people who were close to you, because that's really the best way. Who do I already know that I might be able to provide services for, that can prove my value for me, that can give me a testimonial? I mean, that's really the way to do it. So bravo to you. That's the way to go. Yeah, you've had quite the interesting life, and I know that there's a whole lot more that went on for you. But what would you say, really, like, how did you develop the ability to just go with the flow? I mean, that's what it seems like you're able to do. Is, okay, I have a brain tumor now. Let me see what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to manage. I'm going to go through it. Oh, this is going to be stuck in my head for the rest of my life. Okay. Like, that's the way it appears to me. Whereas I'd be going, oh my God, I have a brain tumor. What's going to happen?
You know, honestly, if it had happened 20 years ago, it would be a completely different story. My first marriage, I was in a very abusive marriage that really, you know, my psyche was not strong, and everything that happened, I was waiting for a fight, you know, every moment of every day. I was, you know, high. I think that's why I got cancer the first time, is because I lived in such high stress all the time. And I had to get help. You know, I had to reach out and find a counselor that, honestly, for a year, every time I went to see her, she would say, imagine the worst that could happen if you left. And it took a year of me imagining the worst that could happen to realize that that was not worse than what I was in. So, and it's funny because my ex-husband is the one that I always think of saying, you will continue to do something until it hurts more to do what you're doing than not do it. That is not how it's said, but that's the basic gist.
But I know exactly what you mean. You're going to do what you're going to do until it hurts more to stay than to leave.
Exactly. And so I would say, you know, yes, we were together 18 years.
Oh, wow.
I was 19 when I met him. So, you know, I was looking for a father figure, and, you know, found a military man that, you know, go from there. Narcissist. So I came out of that marriage with a very low self-esteem, a lot of doubt. I closed my business, because I couldn't maintain a, you know, straight commission or straight, you know, self-employed type income at that point. And it took several years of real intense help and focus on mindset and improving my self-worth. And then when I met my current husband, he's the calmest, quietest, he's a calming force in my life. He's positive. We don't argue, we talk. And so I mean, honestly, I credit him to helping me get to this point where I can be calm about my circumstances, because I have this calming force in my life. And he's, you know, I've changed so much. I mean, I am used to be so high strung and so, I mean, I still get stressed, but you know, I just do kind of take things a little more with the flow than I ever did before. And I'm not living in fear of the next blow up or, you know, thing that's going to throw me off my rocker.
You know, you're a really fortunate person. I know that you're probably grateful every day for being here, for everything that you have, for having an amazing partner.
Yes.
And if you were to give one suggestion to somebody who was in a place where they really needed to be resilient, what might you tell them?
I would say the number one thing is to ask for help. We tend to think that we can handle anything, that we're, you know, or maybe we think we can't handle anything, but it makes us weak or look bad to ask for help. And I think it's key. It's key in everything we do, whether it's business or personal or a bad relationship. There is so much help out there if we just reach out and ask and seek that guidance and help. And just, I would not be here today if it wasn't for all the people that were there for me when I needed it.
Yeah, that is such a good piece of advice. You are so right. So often we don't ask. We wait till we're at the end of our rope before we ask for the help that we need. So
Yes.
Very sage advice, ladies and gents. Ladies and gents, take this one in because that's the truth. Help is always there. And when you don't ask for help, you don't give your friends and family the opportunity to give to you. And they all want to do that.
Yes.
So fantastic.
Yes.
Lori, thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate you sharing your story. And, you know, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, we all have ups and downs, and you've certainly had yours, and you're still standing. So
yes,
kudos
ma'am.
to you. And you know, for any of you who would like to up your marketing presence, be in touch with Lori. You can see her at bizbolster.com. Or I think your email is Lori@bizbolster, right? Lori@bizbolster.com. Be in touch with Lori. This is a woman who can see things we can't when it comes to the face of your business and looking really good. And because you always want your outside persona to match your inside. And if you're somebody who's here to make a difference for people, and I know you are, if you're someone who wants to really be the helper that you are, then others have to see that. And usually the first place for that is your online marketing. So be in touch with Lori. Thank you again for being with us today, everybody. I so appreciate you. You know, we do Be Real, Get Real, because we do business with people. We don't do business with businesses. And the more we know about each other, the more we learn about who we are as people, the more attractive we are to each other and really wanting to work together. So thank you all for being here. Lori, thank you for being here as well. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, everyone. And wherever you are, when you be real, you can get real and you can achieve real results. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. Take care.